If you are in a predicament where you can call the police and have the police carry out the law and our justice system properly, then I expect for you to do that first, not to use your weapon and then call the police, because then you just became the judge, the jury, and the executioner all in one time, and that's not fair.
Welcome back to the After School podcast. My name is Cris, and today we're going to be interviewing Detective Shameko and Detective Natasha, where we talk about topics about the community, gun violence, and mental health issues. Hello, my name is Cris, and welcome back to the After School podcast. Today we're here with two detectives, and one is called
Detective Shameko Greene
and
Detective Natasha Ruiz.
Okay, so I wanted to know a little bit more of how you guys go about being detectives, because I don't really understand how that goes, because I heard that you start off as police officers and then you move into being a detective. Is that correct?
There are different avenues. I could tell you my personal journey.
Yeah.
I started off as a Plainfield Patrol officer and back in 2003. So I have 21 years on the job in total. And unfortunately, I was laid off from there, and I left and went to another department called New Jersey Department of Human Service Police. It was a different type of policing, and I wanted to do something else. So I took the test again. What we can take the test is called the civil service exam.
Okay.
So I took the civil service exam and I got certified with the Union County Sheriff's Department. I was there for about 12 years, and I had the opportunity to be on loan to the prosecutor's office, because sometimes the prosecutor's office would do different collaborations with different local police departments. So I took the opportunity to be on loan with the domestic violence unit, and I was there for 2.5 years on loan. And from there, I submitted a resume and I got hired, and I've been at the prosecutor's office for 7 years as a detective in the juvenile unit.
So you said that you were in a domestic violence unit.
Yes.
Do you think that anything that you saw being a detective who witnesses all the negative sides of the community and witnesses all like the hardships that people go through, do you think that maybe changed your views on anything you did before?
Not how I saw people. Prior to working with becoming a police officer, I was a Girl Scout leader, and I ran a program called Girl Scout and Beyond Bars. And it was a program that took young girls to go see their mothers in the Manhattan, which is the women's state prison here in New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
So I understand the struggles and the mishaps that people may go through. And that's why I had a criminal justice degree. I wanted to do something to work with that specific population.
Most people at work are pretty good with, I don't want to say disassociating, but I don't know how to describe it, just taking a step back, and I don't really let anything really affect me too much at work. So.
Do you guys think that it is a possibility that it could affect someone a lot mentally?
Oh, definitely. Like Natasha said, we try not to bring home our work into our home, but it does affect you. I could give you several examples of, I remember one time hearing a domestic violence case and going home crying because I felt so bad for the victim. But that means that you put in that extra work to make sure that she gets justice. It makes you feel like you build a bond with the victims a lot of time, but you really, you try to do the best that you can to make sure that the victim feels comfortable when they come to court. Make sure that you're doing what you need to do to make sure that they get justice. You refer them to victim witness advocates if they need any additional resources, making sure that they have everything. And we pretty much help assist with carrying out the case all the way through. So you are emotionally tied to it, but you try to not bring it home so that that doesn't affect your home life. Like I have a kid, and I don't want that sadness, that burden to also come home to my son.
Yeah.
But it does affect you. You know, I've been in my personal life, if I see a man or someone of any opposite sex hitting on someone else, I stand up for them.
Yeah.
I've done it several times if I see somebody acting up in public.
What are your views? Because it is something really controversial. Like, I think that a lot of young people now, they don't think that when there's a mental health issue situation, because you did mention the toll it takes on mental health, when there is a mental health issue, they don't think that police officers should be involved?
I think that police officers can be involved and they should be involved. I think that police officers just need the proper training to be able to deal with people
Yeah.
who are on that have mental issues. And we have a wonderful program in our office called the Arrive program. And Arrive is also a training police officers to do ride-alongs. So if it's a mental health crisis, that they are able to work with them a little bit better to make sure that justice and social services kind of that collaboration come
Yeah.
together, and they are able to receive the proper services and the compassion that they may need at that time of the incident. So police officers can be involved, and I think that it just takes a little bit of extra training for us to
Yeah.
be able to share that empathy, that sympathy, and that compassion, because a lot of the times, a lot of the officers who volunteer for those programs may have someone in their household who deals with mental illness. And mental illness goes throughout all gamuts of life, right? It goes throughout a lot of different people's lives. So we may have someone that's in our household that deals with it. We have officers who have kids with autism, so they are straight advocates for kids with autism. So a lot of times personal affects us because we want to do a little bit more as far as bringing in the training and awareness to different mental health issues. So it definitely is something that police officers can deal with.
So you guys go through specific training for that?
We do go through specific training. ABLE and ICAT.
ICAT and ABLE.
ICAT and ABLE training. Don't ask me what the initials stand for,
Okay.
but we do go through those type of trainings. We do webinars as well to deal with mental health situations as well.
Okay. So another situation that comes up with mental health is also maybe gun violence. And I've heard a lot of conversation also with like EYTE. And when I did come in one time with the police officers, and it was with gun violence and mental illness, and how maybe the laws of gun violence maybe need to be more enforced, like to be able to get a gun. Do you think there's anything that should change about that?
I think the state of New Jersey does a really good job with making sure that people are screened properly. And I only could say that because we are, as detectives, we do backgrounds of people who there was a new law that came out that you can have a concealed carry weapon. And we do the backgrounds, and those backgrounds are very thorough as far as like getting a psychological report, getting anything that the involvements that they may have had with local police departments or any other police departments running the CCH, which is their criminal history. So I think the state of New Jersey does a really good job with making sure that we do a thorough job in making sure that if someone has a mental illness, I mean, just to become a police officer and carry a weapon, the background that we go through is very extensive as well.
Yeah, it may not seem like it, but New Jersey does have like some more of the stricter gun laws compared to other states. But unfortunately,
because I've been to other states. Oh my gosh, Alabama's crazy. But yeah, you also mentioned how it didn't really change your views that much. Do you think that being a detective, being an officer, do you think it changes the views of other people?
Like what do you mean? Like it changes?
Well, I know people that could have maybe a view of a police officer and they would think it's bad because of many things that's happened in the past. But obviously not all police officers are like that. Obviously not all detectives are like that. So do you think you ever did anything for someone in the public, someone in the community that made them change their perspective?
I mean, I would like to hope so. I would like to hope that every day I do my job, I help someone and change someone's mind. Can I say 100%? I don't know.
Yeah.
I think that as being a part of programs like this, I always forget the initials, EYTE?
Yeah, EYT.
Programs like this, like I said, this is our third year being involved, our third summer being involved, and programs where we are bridging the gap between the community and police officers. It is a great opportunity to change people's mindset. And I like to think that everybody just know that I'm just a regular person. Like I listen to all kinds of music. I listen to hip hop. I listen to house music. I listen to jazz. I listen and I think that brings different generations as well together due to the fact that you kind of get into different music. Natasha and I are also part of the community policing unit, so we go out into the community and talk to people at different events. Or if they having a like, for instance, National Night Out is about to come on. We're going to be doing that. Or if they having a health fair, we'll go and we'll talk to people. So people realize that all cops aren't the same, but it's like going to a doctor's. Every dentist or doctor isn't going to be the same. You may go to a doctor office and you love that doctor, and next thing you know, they're retired and you got to find another doctor, and you're like, oh man, that was the best one. And you go through a few doctors before you find a good one. And that may be your situation, your experience with police officers. You may go through a few and you're going to find some good ones. And you may find some good ones right from the beginning.
Do you guys think that there should be more appreciation towards police officers?
Absolutely, more appreciation, much more appreciation for police officers.
Do you think there's anything specific you think should be happening more?
No.
Nothing specific?
Oh, like what?
I don't know. Like, what would you think?
I think the image should be changed.
I think the image should be changed, but that comes from personal experiences.
Yeah.
So that would come from within police departments, changing the culture. I think that a lot of police departments are dealing with much younger people now, and it's becoming more of an understanding of equity and diversity, and I think that that's really good. So then we deal with the public; they see us in a different light.
Yeah. Okay, so I also wanted to ask you about if you had any issues with Second Amendment issues in gun violence, gun laws.
Like what exactly with the Second Amendment? Like, do I agree with it? Or like,
yeah, if you agree.
Probably not. I think it definitely could be updated.
It could be updated in what way? I
personally don't think that everyone needs a gun and has to have one.
I agree. I think the problem with it is that we have a justice system. We have a justice system. We have a system where police are called in case of an emergency. If someone is found to be using their weapon improperly, we have, or doing something improper, right? But when we allow people to just have a gun in their home, you are the judge, the jury, and the executor all in one.
Okay.
I do understand the fact that people want to protect their family. I do understand the Second Amendment is our right to bear arms. I understand that. However, in certain situations, there may be an excessive amount of I'm protecting myself, or I'm protecting my property, or I'm protecting my car, I'm protecting that. Like if you are in a predicament where you can call the police and have the police carry out the law and our justice system properly, then I expect for you to do that first, not to use your weapon and then call the police, because then you just became the judge, the jury, and the executioner all in one time. And that's not fair.
And you mentioned how people usually have guns to protect themselves or protect their families. Do you think guns do more protecting, or do you think it does more harm?
More protecting or more harm? I think that's a difficult question to answer, because if you are using it properly, it can give you proper protection. If you are not using it, then it's going to cause more harm. I think that a good amount of people do use it properly, but it's the other ones that aren't using it properly that's giving everybody else a bad rap. And that comes from gun laws, us weeding out people that should not be able to have guns. And that's something that we need to talk about as a community and as a society as a whole.
Do you think that there's because I know there are many places like EYT that want to inform people about gun violence, especially young people. Do you think you have any advice to young people who maybe want to get involved with guns in a safely manner? Not young people, maybe in their good, when they're old enough. Do you think there's a safe step or a safe way to go about it?
I know they have other programs as well that you can become an advocate and speaking to people. One of your best ammunitions towards it is voting for people that believe in the same things that you believe in. If they believe in gun violence or the right to bear arms, or if they feel like it needs to be amended and things like that, that would be your best ammunition towards change.
You guys have anything else to say to the camera? I think that could wrap it up. I appreciate it.
I like to give a shout.
Oh, okay. Well,
no, I don't have anything else to say.
So much.
No, I thank you. This was a great opportunity.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Shameko, for talking.
Okay.